The Apprentice used to be one of my favourite TV shows of all time. However, I haven't seen it in about 4 years because it's absolutely bad. And apparently this season is even worse. So let's talk about why it's so bad and how it can be fixed in 3 steps. Firstly, the candidates are typecasted. For example, this is like from season 15, I believe, right? So it's 10 years ago. And look, it's pretty much the exact same faces from this season. For example, there's always the one token Asian brother. There's always the one token black brother with a little bit of ends in him. There's always that one blonde chick who's just left secondary school. There's always that one geezer from the local pub. There's always that one Tory chick. There's always that one middle class white lady who's just, I don't know, it's got a midlife crisis going on and it's a bit gobby. And this is a picture from this season, right? And look, you've got the exact same characters everywhere. It doesn't take a genius to figure out their typecasting. Do you know what I'm saying? They're typecasting just to get views. But I know so many black brothers who's so intelligent and super smart. Do you know what I'm saying? I know so many middle-aged white women who, I don't know, who are very quiet and like it's got so much going on in their lives. But they're typecasting them on purpose. Which leads me to point number 2, and that's Sir Alan Sugar. My favourite ever Apprentice series is season 3. That season is so incredible. If you haven't watched it, please do. But the first 5 seasons are absolutely incredible. Why? Because cancel culture, right? He could get away with so much. Like, he could say and do anything he wants. And I completely understand the way cancel culture is these days. He needs to be careful in what he says. But still, there's a glaring issue with this Apprentice series, and I'll address that right now. You see, Apprentice back in the day, right? They were fighting for a 6-figure salary for his company to be his apprentice. Again, the title of the show. Which makes the whole selection process valid, right? All the candidates are fighting for a job, a 6-figure salary, to be his apprentice. And I think they did this for like 7 or 8 seasons. And then it went to the whole, because he sold his company, then it went into the whole business partner proposal thing. And the biggest issue with that is, since you're becoming his business partner, the whole candidate selection process is invalid. Because you can literally just look at every single one of those business proposals and see whichever one is the best one. And then go straight to the last 2 weeks and just go straight to the interview process. Like, the whole selection process is completely useless because you're going for a business partner and not a candidate to be your apprentice. That's why he's saying all the good candidates get fired. Because you're like, wait a minute, this candidate was so good. He was supposed to make the final. Do you know what I'm saying? He was so incredible. He's the favourite to win. But why did he get fired like in week 2 for nothing he did wrong? Why did the firing happen? That's because his business proposal was rubbish, right? Which makes the whole selection process invalid. Like, you're spending 12 weeks, right? You're spending 12 weeks to find your ideal candidate. But you could just go straight to a business proposal because that's what you care about at the end of the day. Like, I remember one season, right? I think it was like season 17, I can't remember the top of my head, right? Where the candidate was so good and he made it to the final 5, right? And even Alan Sugar at the end, he said, oh, you're such a great candidate, but your business proposal is kind of bad. Do you want to change it? And he was like, no, I don't want to change it. And then he was like, wait, that means you're fired because your business proposal is so bad. Can't take you on. But you were the ideal candidate. You would have won this thing. But if your business proposal was better, you would have won. Which makes no sense for the entire selection process. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have just looked at week 1 and be like, wait a minute, your business proposal is bad. You don't have to spend another 10 weeks here. You can go home to your wives and your kids. What makes it funny is that BBC has an entire show just dedicated to this called The Dragon's Den, right? Which takes like about 20 minutes for your entire business proposal, your pitch and whatever, and then hire you on the spot instead of going 12 weeks and probably end up losing. Do you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. And especially in Dragon's Den, you can choose whatever dragon you want if you get all 5 of them. I feel like the show needs a revamp and they need a new head honcho, do you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Sir Alan Sugar is past his best and he sold his company, so they can no longer hire an actual apprentice rather than a business partner, right? And I think the right man to replace him is this guy, Peter Jones. I think this guy's so good at just about scraping cancel culture, do you know what I'm saying? He says things that hurt and he says things that are honest and he actually thinks for himself, do you know what I'm saying? I've seen Dragon's Den a lot and he actually thinks for himself, like he goes against the dragons and believes his gut. And I actually think having someone young as Peter Jones, I know he's about 60, but it will benefit the apprentice for about 10 years because he's pretty good. Which leads me to point number 3, and that's the show needs a creative director who's young Do you know what I'm saying? Like myself. No, I'm joking. I'm not actually joking. If you're hiring, I'll fully take that job. But still, I feel like the show needs someone young because they're so out of touch. Like the whole series is so out of touch with the youth today. Like my mate told me, apparently they did a whole episode about TV selling this season. TV selling. Like Debbie's long gone. Who used to do TV, like buy stuff from the TV. No one buys from the TV anymore. It's all apps. It's all Amazon. Like think about it. Yeah, you could do a whole episode about Twitch streaming. Do you know how much that'll bang and how much that'll bring in a younger audience rather than TV selling? It's like so stupid. They could do drop shipping. They could do you know what I'm saying? Whole bunch of stuff. Reselling. Like, because reselling is a huge market. And they're bringing in a younger audience to be like, oh my God, wait a minute. They're talking about reselling in The Apprentice. Let me go watch that. So they're talking about being a YouTuber on The Apprentice. Let me go watch that. Talking about being a Twitch streamer on flipping Apprentice. Let me go and watch that. Do you know what I'm saying? They could tap into a whole younger demographic by just having a younger creative director. They're so out of touch with reality, man. So they're still living in about 2005. It's so mad to see.